From recurring injuries to obvious limitations in the way he plays, LeBron James is very much in the twilight of his career, and his latest injury should be reason enough for him to consider retirement. First of all, he's costing the team, clearly. Look, I love LeBron as much as the next guy, but you can't ignore how the current season has gone for the Lakers. Yes, he was definitely responsible for keeping them in the hunt for the play-in spot.
James soaring with the one-handed dunk.
However, is it a coincidence that the Lakers actually moved up 4 places in the West at the same time when LeBron's been injured? Yes, it's the same time when the Lakers got rid of Russell Westbrook and got in better players. But this team is doing just fine without the King right now. And maybe, just maybe, not having him around improves the team. There's no doubt that over the course of this season, LeBron's probably been the best player for the Lakers. He's one of the highest scorers in the league right now, and if he wasn't injured, maybe he'd be putting up those numbers again. But as good as he is, what if the players on the roster have better chemistry without the King? I really hope I'm proven wrong, but this current team which we're seeing in action these days just seems to be operating on a whole other level than with LeBron around. There's no hero ball when LeBron's not around, and the Lakers actually play like a team. But that's not the only reason. Look at his injuries. You must have come across that graphic recently, right? The one that explains how LeBron in the first 15 years of his career missed a grand total of 71 games only. In the last 5 seasons alone, though, LeBron's been absent for 104 games and counting. That just goes to show that time remains undefeated. You may be the King. You may be spending millions of dollars on keeping your body in perfect condition. But time and age catch up sooner or later. They took their sweet time with LeBron, given just how much he took care of himself and stayed injury-free. But now it's becoming more and more obvious that injuries are finally catching up with the GOAT. In fact, since coming to Los Angeles, LeBron's had terrible luck with injuries. He only played 55 games in his first season for the Lakers. It improved to 67, yes, in the second, but it got super bad in the 2020 season when LeBron only played 45 games. Last season, he missed 26 games, and this season he's only played 47 regular season games so far. However, with LeBron already missing some games at the beginning of the season, and not to be reevaluated until the end of March at the earliest, I'd say he'll probably miss another 8 to 10 games this month. That's if his return goes the way he's expecting it to go. And if that's the case, he'll only be back for the run-in consisting of 6 regular games, and that'll mean he'll barely make it to 50 games. So in a way, if LeBron doesn't retire, his legacy could be in doubt because of this very reason. Think about it. LeBron's main argument in the GOAT debate is his longevity, right? And if that gets affected because he wants to extend his career a bit more to play with his son, then he won't even have that. Yeah, no doubt that LeBron's an absolutely fantastic basketball player even at 38 when he does play. But the problem is, if he doesn't play regularly, then people will start doubting whether he's actually good enough at this level or not. I personally believe that the upcoming postseason, potentially, is a big one in LeBron's bid to elongate his career. If he can play at the highest level and, say, take the Lakers to a final, or hell, even a conference final in this Western Conference, then I guess I'll just have to eat my words on his retirement, right? But if he doesn't, even if it's for something related to an injury, then he's got to at least consider retiring. Because as far as numbers are concerned, yeah, he's still looking exceptional, but he's not quite the same player. And I think even the most die-hard Bron fans will agree on this one, as the King just isn't as clutch as he once was. And once again, I'll maintain that age has a lot to do with it. His reading of the game has definitely improved given the experience of 20 years. I mean, duh, it had to. But at the same time, I'll be honest, the LeBron James of a few years back was draining clutch threes for fun. He was the most effective and clutch player in the league for so many years, and he can probably still produce some of those moments even now. But he's not doing it as consistently as he once did. And don't get me wrong, That's absolutely fine. What do you expect? The man's 38. However, that's what I'm suggesting here. Retirement isn't exactly the worst thing in the world, especially when you've been that good. But if LeBron chooses to go down the route that he's currently going down, then the last couple of seasons of his career will be exactly like Michael Jordan's last years in Washington. And that's not the knock LeBron fans want, do they? Not to mention, I feel LeBron's on a lot of money, which in many ways actually cost the Lakers the chance to rebuild a little earlier. In a way, which explains why the Lakers struggled so much last season, and why they've missed the playoffs so regularly. So with all that money tied up in LeBron's bank account rather than at the disposal of the Lakers front office, who could have added a couple of other decent stars to this team, LeBron actually could have been playing in the postseason in the last couple of seasons, something that he obviously hasn't managed in the last few seasons. Honestly, if someone deserves to be on a contract that big, it's LeBron. But at the same time, it's just disappointing to see him taking up that much money when he could have improved his legacy. And it wouldn't even hurt him. The man's literally a billionaire. Isn't he about to increase his stake in Liverpool Football Club in the Premier League? Clearly, money isn't an issue. But if it matters so much, then LeBron might as well fast-track his retirement and buy an NBA team like he wants to. But no, instead he wants to wait and play with his son in the NBA. Which, by the way, is another idea that makes no sense. And I'll tell you exactly why. This is the NBA we're talking about. It's not LeBron's backyard ball game. But the way he talks about it, it's almost as if he wants the whole family together on an NBA court. I actually read somewhere that he wanted to play alongside Bryce too. Yeah, maybe in another universe where he wasn't, say, half a decade away from making the NBA draft. Point is, yes, Bronny is very talented, and he's a serious talent, but it'll require LeBron to be around for another couple of seasons. And if that's the case, then he'll either need to take a proper pay cut and join a team with enough draft picks to get Bronny, or he'll probably be compromising another franchise's chances of rebuilding just for his personal gain. And for what? The record of becoming the only NBA player to play with his son? Definitely selfish if you ask me. You know what they say, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain.